This is Phil with Android Central, and this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 4. The day of the phablet is not yet done. Now, if you're not a fan of that name, and I'm not, it doesn't matter. Samsung doesn't care. They sold 5 million Galaxy Note 3s in the first month. Here we have the Galaxy Note 4. They haven't changed up too much, but you will notice a few differences already in the back. We'll get to those in a second. Hang on. First things first, we're looking at a 5.7-inch display again, but it's been improved to a Quad HD. That's the big high-resolution display of the moment, and it looks really, really good. That's how many pixels this thing should have. It's been upgraded with a 16-megapixel camera on the back there, and yes, you do see the heart rate monitor, the heart rate sensor that has been brought over from the Galaxy S5. There's that display. Looks really nice. Samsung's done a good job here. Now you have to look carefully as we pull the S Pen out of the silo, but look around the edge of the phone and you can start to make out those little chrome accents. It's not plastic, boys and girls. Metal has finally started to come to the Samsung Galaxy line, and it's here in the Note 4. Software-wise, it's going to look pretty familiar with the Galaxy S5, but multi-window has gotten a little bit of a refresh. You can resize them much, much more easily now and do all sorts of multitasking that much faster. And this is, by the way, all running on Android 4.4.4. Now let's take a look at, there's Air Command, and the S Pen has gotten a little extra functionality when you're hovering over the display, not actually touching the screen there, and if you hold the button down on the S Pen, you can select text. You can select a word, you can select a sentence. It lets you open up a dictionary that much quicker. Very cool. Now this should look familiar in S Health. It is the heart rate monitor, the heart rate sensor. You stick your finger over the back there on that little sensor port, and it will tell you how fast your heart is beating. The camera's gotten a few important improvements as well. It's got a total 16 megapixel resolution, so it's a little higher res than before. And it also has OIS, optical image stabilization. That's going to make everything look better. And you also have an 8 times zoom now, 8x zoom within the camera itself. Very good to see. You also have tons of camera settings. We're used to this. And yes, you can record video in full 4K or UHD resolution. Very, very high resolution. Nice to see in a high-end camera. We would expect nothing less from Samsung. Now, any self-respecting blogger from Seattle is going to take a selfie or two, as Andrew is doing here. And you got a couple different ways to do that. You can throw a gesture up at the phone and it will snap the picture, or you can put your finger back there on that heart rate monitor and use that as a shutter button to trigger your selfie. So you can take selfies all day long, like Andrew does. A few other specs you need to know here. Now, the front-facing camera wasn't ignored. It's up to a 3.7 megapixel resolution with an f1.9 lens. That's pretty important for, you selfie fans like Andrew. Under the hood, this thing's coming standard with 32 gigabytes of internal memory, plus an SD card slot up to 64 gigabytes, and it's got 3 gigabytes of RAM. Processor is going to vary depending on where you are in your region. Let's talk power for a second. The Note 4 comes with a 3,220 milliamp hour battery, and Qualcomm has a special adaptive charging in here that will take you from full dead to 50% in only 30 minutes. And it also will be able to take advantage of Qualcomm's Quick Charge 2.0 when that's finally available. So there you go, very quick first look at the Samsung Galaxy Note 4.